Join the family at osbournemediahouse.com.
How did it affect you?
Ultimately, I've always said that the positives outweighed the negatives.
Yeah.
But the negatives were significant.
Yeah.
They were heavy. They were few in numbers, but they were heavy in weight.
Oh, it's just the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just got on, hold on until the horse quietened down. Got stoned, got drunk.
We all did, Dad.
Picked up my bags and got on the bus.
Yeah, it was kind of it's a different. Like I always look at it like this for you. It was like if you're talking like a tiered cake, it was just another tier on the cake for you. But for us, it was like
the base of the cake.
It was a cake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you do it to your kids?
Crazy. Hey, but that's how it goes.
I need to go to a happier place.
I feel romantic.
Shut up, Ozzy!
Just go to bed, darling.
All right, change the subject.
All right, everyone, welcome to the show. Before we start, just order of business. Just want to give a big shout out to all our new subscribers over at Osbourne Media House. We really thank you and love the support. For folks who haven't checked out Osbourne Media House yet, please go to www.osbournemediahouse.com.
For your one-stop shop, all things Osbourne.
This is true. We've got numerous packages. We've got the Madhouse Chronicle package, which just gets you Father Here's Madhouse Chronicles show.
His brand new show that's really funny.
Very funny. Or you can do the Osbournes package, which gets you the original Osbourne series and some new content that we're dropping very soon called the Basement Tapes, where we rewatch the old episodes and we commentate on them and give our thoughts, feelings, and to trip down memory lane. And then there's also the combo package. So yeah, go check it out. See what the packages have for you.
And check out some of our merch, because we went back to some of our old classic tees that we haven't seen in a very long time.
And they feel so nice too.
Yeah.
The quality's
It's the good
good.
t-shirts.
Yeah.
Not those shitty old concert t-shirts.
No, with a rubber fucking print on.
Yeah, no. We business class.
Okay, guys. I know this is not a topic that we'd normally talk about, but I really want to talk about it because it is in the world of fashion. Can we please talk about the Met Gala for a little bit?
If we
Please.
must.
Please.
If we must.
Well, what?
The Met Gala, did you see it? Do you know what the Met Gala is?
I ain't got a clue.
It's you ever seen the Hunger Games?
No.
Shut up.
He
Dad.
has. He just can't.
Do you know the Metropolitan
No.
Museum of Art?
No.
New York City.
It's in New York City, and it's a
Oh, but-
beautiful,
okay,
beautiful
okay.
museum, and it has some of like the coolest exhibitions that have
Oh,
to do
yeah,
with
yeah.
fashion.
I do
and,
know.
And so, in order to keep the museum going, they throw this gala
For
every
the fashion. For the
For the
fashion.
fashion, yeah.
Because they don't pay anything out for it. So it's not funded. So
year. It goes. So they throw this event every year, and it's called the Met Gala, and
Yeah.
the tickets go up to $75,000 for a ticket.
For a ticket?
Yeah,
Fuck.
350 grand for a table.
I had a really
What
good
do
time.
they serve on the table? Fucking...
Chilled monkey brains.
Jack. It's a different chef, I think, that puts together a
350,000.
coursed meal.
There is no universe where I would ever justify spending 350 grand for a table, especially
For
for
fashion.
an
For
organization
fashion.
that's not saving anyone's life. Like if it was like, hey, we're curing childhood cancer, I'd be like, fuck yeah, absolutely.
but
I
what,
wouldn't do for that.
okay, this is the thing for me. Okay, this year there was, I don't know, some billionaire guy. He catches fish in either Denmark or somewhere in Scandinavia.
a fisherman.
He's a billionaire fisherman.
Well, he's got trawlers, you
Oh,
know.
okay,
that-
so he's got like, yeah.
He owns a
industrial
trawling
fishing.
company for fish. Anyway, he comes and he's dressed as like a Roman, and the theme was like some fucking old garden or something for the thing this year. Anyway, he comes, he's dressed as a Roman. He's got four
Bloody
people
Romans.
holding him with the outfit because it's like
Yeah.
20 foot either side. And it's like, you're a billionaire. You want to be famous as well, because otherwise you wouldn't dress like a twat to go to a fashion show and get noticed. He comes out of his hotel in New York and he's like, and I'm going, who's that? Who is he?
It might be like to dress up like a Roman.
Yeah, he does, and pay 75 grand. He probably bought 10 tables. Who knows? I don't know. But if he'd like to give the money to Parkinson research or MS research, I would say that's amazing. But he wants to be famous. He's gone to this event to get noticed.
But it's his money. He can do what he likes.
Yeah. But it's an event where people publicize themselves.
Yeah.
That's why they go. That's why they hustle to get in on that red carpet, because it's just a hustle.
See, I always said I will never, ever, ever, ever ask to go. If I go, it's because I've been invited. And I was invited by Marc Jacobs, and I represented him one year, and that was a real honor, and it was an experience.
How was your outfit? Did you go in like a chicken
No,
suit
it
or
was
something?
really beautiful.
Anyway, it is just a hustle for celebs to get extra promotion. That's it. It's a great call. If you've got something outrageous on, the picture goes worldwide. It's just a hustle.
So, and isn't it when you go or you buy a ticket, something they pay you with a fashion designer, right? And they have to design your outfit? Is that?
No.
The fashion designer picks you, but they have to be approved by Anna Wintour.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I have to say, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this, I was incredibly underwhelmed by what I saw at the Met Gala, because I felt that people were playing it too safe. And I actually really liked what Anna Wintour wore. And
Well,
I never really
when-
like what she wears.
When was this?
Monday.
Monday.
Oh, last. Oh.
This
Okay,
week.
this week. Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you
yeah,
meant when
yeah.
you were there.
Oh, no. She did. The coat was fantastic. The coat was beautiful.
so beautiful.
But basically, everybody dresses like a twat to get noticed. And it's,
It's fashion, isn't it?
yeah, but it's like Lizzo went and she looked like a mushroom. The whole outfit looked like
but
a
it's
mushroom.
New York, Sharon. You know, anything goes in New York. It's New
And then
York.
when people didn't like Lizzo's outfit, she came out and
You
said,
gotta go dress pretty sort of wild to get noticed. in
Yeah,
New York.
and that so they get, but except
So it sounded-
Zendaya
it
looked
sounds to me like
amazing.
a high-end fancy dress party.
It's
That's
basically
exactly what it is.
It's a high, Dad. It's like a couture fancy dress party. That's what it is. And there's a theme every year, and they design clothing to the
Was
theme.
it Romans this year?
bloody
No,
hell.
it was,
the fishing bloke
something garden.
thought it was.
So basically, Lizzo said that if you didn't like her outfit, then you were not for body positivity, and that her body had absolutely nothing to do with it.
It's like the
dress-
ultimate get out of jail free card. It's like
The
if you
dress
don't
was
like,
just not cute on her.
it's like if you don't like something remote, even in the orbit of me, it means that you hate fat people. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
it's like you either hate fat people or you're racist or something. And it's
Such a
like,
cop-out.
no, the outfit was just a mushroom outfit.
Well,
People-
Mom, you clearly hate fat people now, so
I'm a fat person. Inside, I'm a huge fat person.
I think once you've been fat, you will always be that fat.
You
girl
always
inside.
think you're fat.
Yeah.
this just
And the
took
thing
a
is,
weird
she
turn.
can be anything she wants. I don't give a fuck. It was just the dress sucked.
Hey everyone, Jack Osbourne here. The Osbournes podcast is sponsored by Blue Chew. Look, this is a family podcast, but that doesn't mean that we can't talk about sex. So listen up, we're talking about BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a service delivering these really cool little chewable tablets with the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, and you can take them day or night. Doesn't matter. You sign up at BlueChew.com, chat with a licensed medical provider, and once approved, you'll receive a delivery in days. Boom. It's that simple. I did it super easy, had a few email exchanges with a medical professional, and I got approved. And now, my sex life is improved. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com, chew it, and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew for free when you use our promo code Osbournes at the checkout. You just pay $5 in shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code Osbournes to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring our podcast. I just heard that there was like controversy of...
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to hear the controversy?
Yes.
So, in my eyes, the best dressed at the Met Gala was Katy Perry's AI. They made an AI of Katy Perry on the red carpet at the Met Gala, and everybody thought that it really was her there. And people were going nuts over the dress.
So she didn't actually go?
No, she didn't go.
How could I do that then?
They just made a fake picture of her online.
Oh,
And superimposed her on the carpet to make it look like she was
In a
there.
beautiful dress.
Beautiful dress.
wow.
And it got more attention than anybody who was actually there.
But I must say that
He
Zendaya
must have
looked
been well
gorgeous.
done.
She's the most exquisite actress ever.
But he must have been well done.
Really well
It
done.
was
Dad.
well done.
Yeah, it was like...
Yeah.
I actually saw the picture. You would never think in a million years it was AI. Which is scary, but also cool.
Yeah.
Because next thing you know, they're going to be like AIing pictures
they're
of
gonna
like...
be all at home.
The Roman.
Yeah. He's going to be in the Colosseum.
They'll go on a chariot.
Wait, so the Roman,
Yeah.
the billionaire Roman,
Yeah.
the 4 people like carrying his cape, did he have to buy tickets to all 4 of them to carry his cape?
Whatever stunts you do on the carpet is what you do. You just have to prearrange it and let them know. And then you walk up the stairs and your entourage goes literally out the back door.
Oh, weird. Did you have an entourage when you
No,
went?
I didn't.
I would have had like a court gesture juggling behind me.
I was so nervous. It's a really nerve-wracking red carpet.
What about, I think,
It's
oh
massive.
God, the lady in the black dress. What is her name?
What black
We
dress?
like her. She had the huge...
Cardi B.
Cardi B. She looked amazing. And she had, I think, 9 people putting a dress out. It was that big. It was like it couldn't have fit in this room. It was that big.
So what, are they all
And there's
night
usually-
they're wearing that?
No,
Or is there
there's
like
somebody waiting at the top of the stairs because the red carpet goes upstairs, and there's somebody waiting at the top of the stairs to either hand you your dress that you're wearing to the party or disconnect you from the part that makes you uncomfortable, and then they
so they
leave
make,
with
like,
it. Yeah.
They
I
take-
might say something. I don't know what I haven't got a fucking clue what you're talking about.
I
Sorry,
think
it's one of my favorite events of the year. I know you don't. It's
It's a
nothing that would.
bullshit event.
I like it.
I'm sitting here going,
but you want to know
why the fuck am I sitting here?
Sorry, Dad.
It's for... It's
No,
a
it's a-
hustle.
the
It is a hustle.
It's
it is a
a
hustle.
hustle.
But even just, it was fun. A friend of mine, he's a pretty big artist, and he was explaining to me a lot about how these non-profit art galleries and the whole hustle behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when you hear about these very wealthy families donating like billions of dollars of art to a
Mm-hmm.
city, and they're building a museum and this and that, do you know why they do it?
Tax write-off.
It's a tax write-off, and they
Yeah.
will always do it when they retire because they want to cash out their retirement and they don't want to pay taxes on it. So they will, I've amassed this, I mean, the freaking in LA, what's it? The family that has the museum,
Getty.
the Gettys. They did that. So they wanted to essentially cash out. So they donated everything to the city of LA. They built that massive museum, and it was
But don't you, if you're mega million billion, well,
Mm-hmm.
you don't pay tax anyway, do you?
Well, you don't until you cash it out, because usually their wealth is in stocks and its portfolios, and so they don't actually own it. The moment they take ownership of that money, then they have to pay tax on it. Now, where they get around it is, you hear about like Jeff Bezos, he's worth $200 billion, but he only paid fucking $1 million in tax, because they go to banks and they go, hey, I'm worth $200 billion.
Lend me the money.
Lend me $1 billion cash. It's a loan. You don't pay taxes on loan. And he lives off that $1 billion cash. So no taxes. But they know that he's good for it because he's got $200 billion. That's what they all do. And then when they do want to access the $200 billion, they donate to the Met Gala.
200 fucking billion, you couldn't spend that in 9 lifetimes.
This thing, I just want to
Mum could.
end it. I just want to end it on this thing about the gala is that I get it. And if I was a billionaire, I would go and probably take all my friends for a laugh. right? You go, you have a laugh, you do a bit of the red carpet, whatever, and it's a great fun night, right? Take the piss out of everyone, blah, blah, blah. But everyone takes it so seriously,
so
like they're
serious.
saving lives.
Yeah.
And they go, oh my God. I mean, Chloe, what's her name?
7 year.
Looked.
Okay, I'm sorry. I really like her. I think that she's an incredible actress.
That's got nothing to do with her dress.
She looked like Hansel got caught fucking Gretel and they didn't have time to put their clothes on in time. That's what it looked like.
But everybody's going, amazing.
so irreverent.
This is amazing.
it's-
She looked like
it's-
a fucking nut job.
It's literally the Emperor's New Closet.
Yeah,
Remember
and
the old
it's like-
fable of the
yeah,
guy?
yeah,
that, you know,
yeah.
he's-
Yeah.
The Emperor.
New clothes.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, it's like they have no humor about it. This is great. We're going to raise some money to show
Well,
a few
if
dresses
you-
in a
if you're worth
museum,
$200
yada, yada,
fucking
yada.
billion dollars.
Ha, ha, ha.
If you're worth $200 billion, who gives a fuck?
No, I know. That's what I was saying. If you had that money, you'd go, you'd get tables, take all your mates, have a laugh, get pissed, ha ha ha. But it's not that sort of mentality. They think they're saving lives.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at the dresses in the museum. Look at it. And yeah. And
Yeah. Meanwhile, you know, look at the chaos the world is
the world
in.
is in. It's like, and I don't want to get political about it, but it's just, that's the thing. If you've got that money, fine, do it, go for a laugh. But there ain't no
if you-
shits and giggles.
Yeah. Do you think, like, it makes you wonder? It's like, I wonder how much they're wondering about the Met Gala on the fucking trenches of Ukraine right now. It's like, you know, you've got thousands of people just getting killed in war. And meanwhile, in New York, everyone's dressing like a fucking peacock and a, you know, Spartan warrior. Mm-hmm. But it is fun I think if you go into
For
it
a
like
laugh,
I'm
for a
having.
laugh.
you
If
know,
you
Exactly.
like, didn't know what to expect. I was really nervous. That you know what the fashion world is like. They're cutthroat. They're ruthless, and it you know it's very black and white.
But
And-
I just think the whole thing about the fashion world that gets me is what I was saying. They take it so seriously. You're not saving lives here. It's meant to be great. You're creative people. You're designing great things to wear.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah.
End of it. Next.
I mean, I'm like the least fashion forward person ever. Like I think I've had these shoes for like 4 years now. Like I don't buy a lot of new clothes. But one of the reasons is that like I find it such a wasteful industry because it's all about new every 3 months. And I can't, I'm like, wait a minute. So
That's fast fashion, but the kind of fashion that me and Mum like, it lasts forever.
Classic. Yeah. You can't listen, Jack. I've got stuff.
Oh, really?
Doesn't mean you can't have more than one.
doesn't mean you can wear it forever either.
Yeah, it does.
Well,
You've seen, Jack, when I have a piece of clothing that I like, I wear it until there's holes in it and it's disgusting.
sure. Yeah.
But hey, I think that's enough about fashion because it's
Okay,
boring.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because we've all been really busy watching the Osbournes basement tapes, and a lot of people really know what we mean when we say basement tape. So I thought it might be a cool discussion to. That's not me, by the way.
It ain't me.
You're a
either.
liar. It is you.
Oh, okay.
I thought it might be a cool discussion to talk about how it made us feel watching it, and like.
Sure. I mean, okay, so I
Because
guess
I had a whole Jack. I swear to you, I have had a bit of like a psychological rebirth since watching it.
yeah, it definitely had an effect on me. More,
But in a positive way.
it was different for me. Like there was absolute positives, and then there were also things where I was like, felt a little weird.
Daddy and I discuss it a lot.
Before we get into it, let's just explain. Okay, so for people listening, we are doing a new show that's available on the osbornemediahouse.com. It's called The Basement Tapes, where the whole family, we sit, we watch the old episodes of the show, which we haven't seen in over 20 years.
I
And
haven't seen it all.
yeah, or ever. And we kind of give our commentary on it. So it's like a literal voyage down memory lane.
So how did that make you feel?
First, it put me in a really dark place.
I noticed it was a bit hard for you.
But then I eased into it. it put me in a real fucked up place.
Why?
I don't know. I can't walk as good anymore, and it was just a whole deal. It was like it was weird, really weird. I cannot describe it.
Yeah, it is a weird.
It's a weird feeling.
It's like something fucking in the front of your head, you know.
Yeah.
And I watched it back and I realized that I was so hard on myself for no reason. Because I read in and fed in to what the media and the public said about me. So I figured I must have been like that. And then when I watch it with my own eyes, I see that I wasn't. I was just
You're
a little
baby.
girl.
You were just a baby.
Yeah.
Both of you were children.
And it was
But
really freeing.
you've had families, both of you had families, so you're not children yourself, and you wouldn't put your own children through what the general public.
It's also it's so different. It's such a different
Time
in media. It's
You couldn't do that today.
No.
You couldn't do the Osbournes today.
No.
They wouldn't. It just wouldn't.
If we were the age we were then, now, and we started from scratch now, it would be a very different show.
Very different show. It would be a very different. Just everything. I mean, well, ultimately too, it's the genre is so established now versus then it wasn't. It was like a really.
Plus, there's
thing.
hours and hours of film that was never been seen.
This is true. There's a. You know what was amazing? In watching season 1, so much of it takes place at night.
Yeah.
So much of the
I
footage.
never realized that until we watch it
Yeah.
and how.
The print of darkness.
And I don't know if it is at nighttime because we were up all night,
Yes.
or if it was because they put those things on the kitchen windows that made everything look like it was dark.
It was still always. I know
The majority of
I
it
know we
was
shot in the winter that first season,
Yeah.
so obviously you take that into consideration that it got dark earlier.
But
Nothing really happened in the house.
no, but it was
so
still
easy.
madness and fun to watch.
Yeah, I was saying to Mum, the thing that really stuck out to me was how much we all used to laugh.
Yeah.
There was a lot of laughter in the house.
so much.
And
Yeah.
what stuck out to me the most was how much I have grown up to become just like my mom. I see things that mum does on the show and I'm like, oh my God, I do that. I do that. I do that.
Daddy and I were talking the first night that we saw it. We were going, oh my God, the way Kelly and Jack go at each other all the time.
It's like not once. It's like,
Constant.
fucking hell.
I don't think that's ever changed.
You were pretty mean to me, though.
That one line, I still feel really bad about it and I'm going to apologize again because it came from nowhere and it was so fucking mean and out of nowhere.
And the fact that your brother shot you in the leg, if I heard that once, it was like every other fucking argument.
But let's just say it wasn't a gun. It was an air gun with a pellet.
We spoke about this on the podcast a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
and we put that clip where we're having the argument about it on your social media, and Instagram flagged it and dinged his social media account because they say it was inciting gun violence.
What?
Telling the story about an accident with a pellet gun, and they fucking red flagged it only on his, not on mine, not on anyone else's.
No, because I put that video up too.
Yeah. How fucking crazy is that?
Am I an old person because I say video and not clip?
maybe.
Like sense of people,
Yeah, so there's a lot of censoring that goes on social media now, and it kind of
which is good.
yes and no, because it's who's they're
Well,
the
if they,
deciding factor of what's
if they
appropriate and what's
censored it
not.
on mine, I don't know on yours. That's pretty crazy. isn't it?
yeah, it is. And it's probably to do with the followers that you have complained, and they were like, "Oh, I find this whatever." That's usually what they'll.
No, the kind of follower that would have complained about that.
Oh, fully.
Oh, it's nothing to do with it anyway.
I know.
I was just the dad.
You weren't even in the country.
That's right.
Yeah, you were in New York. It made me feel so many strange emotions.
It did too. It made me feel a lot of strange
And I'll tell you
emotions.
what, just because I've seen the edits and the cuts, it's interesting to see everyone's face in different scenes watching different things. it's kind of, Dad, it's funny. Like, he knows a lot of the one-liners from it, and so it's a couple scenes where like we'll cut to you and you're kind of repeating the line you're gonna say, which is kind of funny. And like there's a lot of Mom, you're very stoic watching it.
I think Mum was
shock
scared to watch it.
It was a shock because listen, I'm not complaining at all, but when it's cut, it's like the fucking and
The swearing.
and it's all combined into 43 minutes, and it probably took them
like
3
27
weeks to
minutes.
get that one episode of 43
No,
minutes.
it's 22 minutes.
22?
Yes,
Yeah.
22 minutes long.
So it's 22 minutes of us constantly swearing, and they've just condensed days and days and hours
I thought
into
the
that.
bad language.
It was constant. It was this.
The language was.
I know. Listen, I've got the
We said
dirtiest mouth ever, but
I still
when
think
you
we do.
condense it, it's like, whoa, Jesus, that's enough.
Yeah.
My therapist gets upset with me when I swear.
So,
So does Sid.
Because she says that normal people don't swear as much as we do.
Normal. Well,
Yeah.
we're not normal.
No offense to your therapist, like,
Like it's not. She says it's not normal, and she says that it makes me look bad.
no. I think something came out that said people that swear probably have higher IQs.
I don't think so.
Well, that's apparently
There
what
was something like
yeah,
that.
there was
I
some
did see
weird-
something like that.
weird thing.
But it did. Like, I watched it, and first of all, I can't believe how big my cheeks were.
You were a baby.
I know, but I still had a baby face. Like my cheeks were like huge, and I can't
The
believe
hairdo's
how I
got me.
never, ever, ever pulled my fucking trousers up. My belly was hanging out in every episode.
But the hip hugger jeans and
Of the time, the
that
low
was
rise, like-
You were
Yep.
beautiful, Kelly.
Thank you, Dad.
You had about 6 different hairstyles in the first season.
Yeah. Very, very, very. If you took my hairstyles and dyed them blonde, they would classify as Karens.
There was some Karen looks. Yeah.
There were like some of the.
You
Yeah.
used
That
to
was
go
going
out of
on.
your way to look oddball. Like a blue streak here and a red. Red stripe.
She was experimenting.
I was experimenting and expressing myself in a very unique way.
How do you think? Okay,
Do you know what else I like about myself from watching that? Is that a lot of my friends on that show are still my friends.
yeah. I mean, I still.
So, I mean, the rainbow.
No, I mean, like, we still talk to so
I
many.
was amazed.
the
that
same
you're
people.
Yeah.
going into plays with solid alcohol at the age that you were.
Yeah. Different
Yeah.
time.
Different time.
Yeah.
But then Lindsay Lohan came in and they passed the Lindsay Law and it changed everything.
Yeah. She
The
ruined
Lindsay
everything.
Laws.
Yeah, but it was also camera phones. It was all like there was a camera everywhere. Shortly after that, you couldn't get away with anything. These places. But then again, we had cameras in the
I
fucking
mean,
clubs with us.
you would have thought people would have complained about that.
Yeah.
They did. Apparently, Bill Cosby did.
Yeah, but he's not exactly the
I know.
fucking the standard.
Mr. Hypocrite.
Mr. fucking,
I just think
Yeah,
it's
he's
funny.
what is it? He's a good bunch of blokes. I mean, he
Rapist.
isn't. Yeah,
He got
isn't.
caught.
He got caught big time.
Do you think about, as parents, like some of the stuff that was said about the show back then that was negative? Do you think about that in present day light and kind of compare it?
Yeah, of course. But I still think in the days when we did it, it wasn't right for people to write what they wrote.
Yeah.
But the press wanted to hate it, and the public loved it. So it was that sort of battle.
That's just like rock and roll, isn't it? If you
Yeah,
the media, the system hates it,
yeah.
kids
Yeah.
love it.
How close do you think it was to actual real life for us back then?
Absolutely
the way
real.
we lived our life,
that
Jack.
was it.
That's the way.
I
And
always,
that's when I watch it that I am also very proud of us as a family that you may not have liked us or you may have loved us, but we were always ourselves.
yeah, there was
Who
no
was
hair
it,
and
Sharon?
makeup.
Who
There
was
was
it used to
no.
say to us, is it like this in the house all the time?
Yeah,
Somebody should film it.
yeah.
Who was it?
Howard Stern.
Yeah.
And haven't you noticed how we're all still doing the same stuff? Like
What do you mean?
the TV
Some.
remote still doesn't work. The dogs are still shitting and pissing in the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
There's still a million people that come through the house every
Every
day.
day. Like, I don't know anybody's house that is as busy as your guys' house.
Oh, sometimes now it's like on the weekend, just like, it's only me and my mum there.
Weekends is quiet, but
Nothing's
during
ever
the week.
quiet in this house. There's
No,
always
even
someone
when, but I
barking or
keep telling
yelling.
Mum, you can never be in this house without having someone here because basically, can I tell what with the parking guy?
No.
Okay, never mind. I'll tell you after.
Okay.
Basically, a man from the movie set came here and was knocking on the door asking for Dad's medical information.
And good to know, all right.
Hold on one second. I just want to hear the story. Wait, go on.
So they're filming in
Yeah.
the street, and they've been filming in this street on and off. I mean, it's
Weeks now.
constant,
Yeah.
constant film crews. So I get this letter from a production company, and they say that they are taking the street over for 3 days and don't park outside your house. And I called, there was a number, so I called and I said, look, great, you're making a movie, like again, woohoo, a movie. I have to, you're saving lives. And I said to them, you can't park outside our house because we have constant staff coming in and out and medical condition here. We have to have access at all time to the house. So I left this and I said, if you want to take it further, I can get my lawyers to call you. But you cannot park outside the house. I left a voice message, hung up. So the doorbell rings, and you know what it's like when
You can't hear anything. 'cause
the dogs are barking. So I press the buzzer. I go to the door. There's a guy there. He must have been 6'6", and he's holding a clipboard. And he said, and he handed me the slip that he'd left in the letterbox saying they were filming. And I said, I don't want it. I've already got one. I went like that. And he said, so tell me, your husband's condition is? I said, hold on, who are you? And he goes, I'm in charge of parking. Get the fuck out of here now. Get out now. And he goes, well, I need to know his condition so we can and I went, out now. Just leave now. I said, get your ass out. So he thought he was being funny and pretended to take his trousers down and
really
show me his ass.
inappropriate.
But he thought he was being funny. I'm like, please, just fuck off.
That's severely inappropriate to try and take
And
your trousers off.
He couldn't get out.
So Mum shut the door and left him.
So I shut the door and left him.
There's a button
Yeah.
that says press to
Press
exit.
here, it's this big.
Yeah.
Press here. And there's a,
Yeah.
the little
Yeah. Little
statue.
He called
by-
the police.
So he was calling the police, and I'm like, oh, please, I'm terrified. So I just opened the gate and let him out. But again, people think we're a big film company. This is so important. You can't park outside your house. It's like, and then when they were here, when I was away in England, which was only a month ago, they were outside filming. Amy was waiting for an Uber, and they said, you're in shot. Go back, you're in shot. And Amy's like, I'm waiting for an Uber. and they're like, like, this is so important. We're shooting a movie. It's like, just
Go away.
cool it,
Yeah.
just
We're not curing cancer here
No.
once again.
again.
But it's pretty. I mean, had people on productions that have to, you go ask. Been in that scenario
Sure,
where you
of
go,
course.
but to have normally it's like a production coordinator that would go and do that kind of stuff. Do that and like try and show their ass up, like make
Oh
that.
no, I had
Mr.
head of parking. He's
Mr.
head of parking manager.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh please.
What a great
so,
job.
So what a great job, making sure that nobody parks outside their house. So they couldn't just fucking go, listen, mate, there's somebody here that needs to have
Yeah,
a parking space.
access can
Just
never be.
put a thing, one parking space. All right, love, next. But like
But
this
it's
is,
fucking Hollywood, isn't it?
oh, I'd like to go out there with a loudspeaker and play some Slayer so they can't film. Can you imagine if we blast Slayer out?
That's why we've been having so much technical difficulties while we've been filming, because their radio
Oh yeah, they
equipment.
they were eating up all the bandwidth for the.
So we haven't. It's
But
been.
Is that
I'm
why
not-
is that why Wi-Fi's been doing?
Yes, yeah.
Fucking hell.
They've been up this street. I mean, this whole area they use all the time because the houses are so old here. But it's like, I think it's wrong, but the city will allow it because they pay for the permits.
Yeah.
So the city's making money, but your life and outside your house is chaos.
So
but
what would happen? Okay, I mean, what would happen if a real emergency happened? Cool.
Then they can't stop emergency vehicles. If something would like
And
if,
there's like a.
We could
I
sue
went
them,
out, I went out
probably.
one day. There's like a fucking great big truck.
there's one right now, a
Ozzy,
massive truck in front of the house.
You have no
But what I'm
idea.
saying to you, if there was a real emergency, how would the ambulances get in?
They would have to let them through. But to that, hold on,
No, Dad's saying that with the trucks parked there,
Yeah.
you actually can't get them through.
they can't block the actual street. It's just on the sidewalk in front of the house. But yeah, if there was like a fire, you would have to they would have to move it.
But can you imagine the guy, the arsehole neighbor we have in England, when he lived in that house, okay, he was renting it out every month and they were huge. They were filming at night with so much light because they wanted it to be daytime and they were running over schedule. So
They had
were,
those blimps.
you just wouldn't believe it. And they were stopping everybody going in, right? So I'm going there with the builder to check out our
Property.
property. And this guy comes up, same thing,
What are you
what
doing?
are you
here?
doing here? And I said, what are you doing here, mate? What the fuck are you
You're
doing?
trespassing.
He goes, you can't come here. And I said, you see that house there? I am that house. And he goes, you
I'm going to tie this back, though, to what we were talking about. We were that annoying production in the
Yeah,
neighborhood when we
were.
were doing the Osbournes.
but they didn't have huge trucks with cranes going back and forth, and people could park on the street because we could never, because our house was on the corner.
There's a way. There's a way of being polite.
Yes, there is. There's a way of being
You don't
friendly.
go like the sheriff of fucking.
Nottingham coming. Your husband's condition is, so I can write this down.
But what does that have to do? What does his condition have to do like,
With their production? Why would they
honestly,
need to
like
know?
I've never heard that.
Because he wanted to go back to his boss and say, "Look, mate,
No,
this
you
guy
just- look at
needs
this.
a parking
Leave it to
space
me."
because."
Leave it to me. I'll sort this out. He's one of them guys. I'll sort this out. No problem.
It's none of your fucking business.
So I do think they deserve some Slayer today, don't you?
Maybe some dog shit.
Couple
too.
of amps out there and some Slayer would be great.
I can get you some of Seamus's
Death
shit if
metal.
you would like, Mum. Have you let your kids watch the Osbournes?
They've seen like 1 or 2 episodes of it.
Do they get it?
Do they
They just think it's really cringe.
really?
They just say, "Oh my god, it's so cringe. It's so cringe." But they've been on a huge kick right now where they really like watching my shows. All Saturday, Sunday, all they want to do is watch the paranormal stuff and World Detour. So I'm kind of thinking like, oh, maybe they're in the, they're more intrigued by.
Ghosts.
Well, no, just intrigued by the work that I've done over
Yeah.
the years. And so, yeah, I just reached out to one of the producers from Adrenaline Junkie about getting copies of it because I want them to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah, it's fun.
That was great. That turned into.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was a great job, great hack.
But you had a great production team.
We did, yeah.
The best.
You had some great locations.
Oh my God, I went to so many. Like, I mean, ultimately, as I was watching the Osbournes, I was kind of thinking about everything that unlocked. You know, doing the Osbournes kind of plugged, as I've said many times, plugged me into working in TV, which I never thought I would ever do. And I parlayed it into kind of doing a lot of fun things.
You have.
Yeah,
You really have.
Pretty cool.
Great experiences, great memories.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
You got all that adrenaline for your grandchildren when you.
Yeah.
I took baby Sydney to his first rock show last weekend.
Oh yeah, where'd you go?
So Sid did a secret show with Slipknot in Joshua Tree at Puppy and Harriet's.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only 300 people, and it was amazing. And that was his first show that he ever went to. And it was really cool because apparently Elon Musk was even there.
Oh.
Very weird. And he fell asleep within the first 5-10 minutes of his dad being on stage.
Well, he does kind of sleep anywhere.
Baby, he does.
Yeah,
I know.
he's
rock
just
and
kind of
roll.
like, yeah, I'm jealous of that. None of my
No,
kids
you
have
guys
ever.
were the same at that age. You guys were exactly the same. When you were tired, didn't matter where we were, you'd
It
go.
was Jack's excuse to get out of the way. I'm tired.
I'm
But
tired right now.
Do you know what was really crazy? I went to Sick New World the day after, which is System of a Down's new festival.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw everybody that we know and that we've grown up with over the last
How many bands
25 years. Oh my God, a lot of bands. There was quite a few stages as well. And it was really quite busy. I think it was 70,000 people. It's crazy to see that our little world is still so powerful, the rock music world, and to see how it still means so much to so many people, and all the people that we know, and everybody asked after you and was wondering where you were, and everybody's still doing the same thing. And it was really, really nice. But what I noticed is now they look at my baby like he's some sort of Jack, this man came up to me and he was crying.
Who was it?
So he's like, oh my God, this is Ozzy's grandson. And he was crying. And I was like, yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, be like, security.
But it means something.
Excuse me, what's that?
It was a really weird,
That's pretty funny.
but it was also it was really great to see everybody.
Yeah, I bet. Must have been fun.
But
Was it a lot of Ozfest bands that were there?
So many Ozfest bands. So many Ozfest bands.
I was saying to Kelly, Sid is third generation road baby.
Mm,
We're leaving again this weekend for a couple of shows.
fun.
And he does really well. And it's weird. I thought that he was going to have a hard time.
Yeah, adjusting.
Adjusting, but he just got right into it. I had a harder time.
Well, babies they adapt. It's the thing about kids. They might kick and scream, but they are very adaptable. One thing that I was talking to Ari about was it was weird watching the episodes of season 1 because during that time period, the show hadn't aired, and we were just kind of living our lives as kind of
People.
civilians. I mean,
Yeah.
us for the most. Obviously, Dad was touring and doing what he's done forever, and it was weird to have the last few months of just being kind of a normal kid documented.
Yeah.
And then it all changed. The jump from season 1 to season 2, our worlds had completely changed. And so it's kind of interesting to look at that. It's like, oh, wow.
Do you remember the first time that we got recognized?
In Venice Beach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It was, the show had just aired. And
We went
New
for a
York.
walk.
we were in California. You were on tour. We were in California. I was taking the kids
the
to
drum
a
circle.
drum circle in Venice Beach.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, you were. We
Yeah,
were
you were.
all there. And these people were like pointing at us that were in the drum
I
circle.
remember going on to the flats at one and that little girl coming at us
Yeah,
for a photograph.
yeah. But it was just like that. And you go like, what the hell?
And we had the conversation. Do you think we've made a mistake? Do you think we did that?
I remember the peninsula in New York. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah. That was like, not to like toot horns. It was like Beatlemania crazy when we were at the hotel that time because NYPD brought the barricades out to barricade because there were hundreds of people in front of the hotel.
Oh.
So weird.
Very weird.
But people used to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
They don't really do that anymore.
No. Well, I talk about
But
it.
that level of fame you could never hold on to.
No.
No, and I don't think I would ever want to.
It's very
It's lonely.
dangerous, very dangerous, and very lonely.
Yeah.
It's very lonely, and it's very
You start getting
isolating.
crazy invites.
Yeah.
Oh God, the invites. But it's dangerous if you're not understanding your own importance. If you think you're more important than you actually
if you buy
are.
into it, I suppose us being in the game that we're in, we're kind of okay. But if you've never had that before, it's like from being nothing to that. It must be fucking mind blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the level of fame that like I'll never be able to explain fully to my kids when I have kids
More.
how crazy it was and how famous we were.
Fucking nuts.
And just
I remember going stopping at stopping at McDonald's one day when I used the bathroom. I came out, it was fucking heck. It was like people from everywhere were crawling over cars and everything. It's frightening.
I remember there being dozens and dozens of people in front of the house all the time, and
how did we escape them? That's what I don't remember. Is because I remember them always being outside of our hotel, but they never followed us.
I think sometimes,
Sometimes,
it
but
would
meaning
happen.
like when we were in New York, nobody followed us from the hotel out to where we were going.
But that we always had security when we were in New York, and I remember. Do you remember that one time there was something where the security had to get in these guys' face because they were following us and saying things?
That's ringing a bell.
Yeah.
But it's we weren't prepared for how successful it was going to be. We just thought it was a laugh and that was it. And we still continued that sort of attitude through it all because we didn't take it seriously, because you're famous for being
Just
hanging out
yourself at home.
I
So
remember this woman come up to me and she goes, "Oh, you look a lot fatter on TV."
I bet
What a
you remember.
dick.
I bet you remember
You'll
that.
never
Out of
forget that.
everything that people have said to you, that's the thing that's how you know you're an alcoholic.
I know.
Just
Why?
holding on to that resentment. 23 years later, that bitch.
She is a bitch.
Hope she fucking got hit by a bus.
I thought you looked a big fat. You looked
I can remember once we were in Malibu and going into
remember the
Planet
grocery
Blue?
shop? Remember we went into that grocery shop at Malibu Colony?
Yeah.
We came out at about 5,000 fucking paps out there. I mean, what the fuck?
It's so funny now when you think about, okay, Paps now versus then.
Yeah.
Like, there's, yes.
Anybody is a pap now.
But you see Pap, it's like one guy in a car. Back then it would be,
Like 50.
yeah, it'd be like motorcades following
Yeah, but you got to remember that was before
Social media. Yeah.
So there was so many more.
Yeah.
But everyone's a pap now because everyone's got a phone.
They've got young kids that are paps. They're probably, your age when you did the show.
Yeah.
I was coming out of Target the other day,
Yeah.
and I just noticed out of the corner of my eye that I felt like somebody was staring at me. And I just turn and look, and it's 3 women in 3 separate cars, all taking pictures of me and filming me as I put my baby in his car seat. But they didn't see each other, but I could see all three of them. And I was just like, hi.
Creepy.
Like, what are you
Anyway.
doing?
But it's
It's weird. I think you think of all the people that we know that were child stars, and then they grow up, and it's the same for them when they go back and they look at movies that they made when they were kids. And
We have this gift to give that lives on forever, and we can show it to our children, and they can show it to their children, and it is something.
You see, the thing about it, if you've got a TV show, everyone's got it. Everyone had a TV.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I mean, I said it. Now we're drinking media through a fire hose.
Yeah.
And back then, it was a lot smaller. Especially TV. There was no internet, no YouTube, no TikTok.
I can remember how big late night talk shows
Yes.
were. They were huge.
Yes.
And now they're like numbers this big.
They get maybe 500,000 or maybe 1 million if it's a big guest coming on. But I mean, Larry King used to get like 24 million people would watch Larry King live.
Yeah.
That's like what people watch the Super Bowl now.
Yeah.
But the shift of it is you look at Mr. Beast and then there's, he drops a video within 20.
What's the biggest media outlet?
I would argue now YouTube, and it's this YouTuber named Mr. Beast. When he releases a video on YouTube,
We talk about him quite a lot.
yeah, he gets a couple 100 million views in a week. Yeah. He's just this like kid.
We should see if he'll come
Who is that?
and we can introduce him to Dad.
Who is that?
He's just like this like YouTuber kid. He's just a kid. Literally,
What's his name?
his name's Mr. Beast. Jimmy is his real name.
He's literally the most famous person in the world.
And he did something really, I thought it was a really powerful point. It really struck me. He posted something on Twitter after the Super Bowl last year. And he was talking about how much one commercial, it was like a 45-second commercial with $8 million to have it on the Super Bowl. And it got, 20-something million views. And he said he threw it out there to all the advertisers that advertise on the Super Bowl. He was like, give me $2 million and I'll get you X amount, 100 million eyeballs, just throwing it out there.
It's true.
Because it's so true. And that's why I keep saying, like, mainstream media is...
Oh,
it's done.
Do you think reality TV is done?
I think yes, in some capacities, some genres of it are.
See, I think reality TV now is influencers.
Yes, well, that's what I was gonna say. It now lives on YouTube. Like the Osbournes plays like a YouTube show.
I know.
If you were to watch a YouTube show about like families that just kind of do their thing, the way it's cut, the way everything, it's a YouTube show.
But you look at these influencers now. I can remember with Love Island, they had an influencer hosting it here. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to her and I said, have you seen the show? She said, oh, no.
What show?
No.
Love Island. And she'd been chosen to host the show in America, but she hadn't seen the English one. And that's where it started in England.
Of course, yeah, no.
So she went, oh, no. And when she came on, she was so awkward to interview her because she was used to just talking to a camera.
Yeah.
She wasn't used to actually
It's a different
working
kind
with
of
other
celebrity.
people. Yeah, it's just totally different.
It's different. And look, I have some influencers that I really love following. And it's usually the ones that are just like normal people that have an exceptional talent and wouldn't get the platform if it wasn't on social media. I don't like the ones that everybody is obsessed with.
But I think one of the driving forces behind launching Osbourne Media House is just kind of what we're saying, that things have changed so much, and you put it so perfectly where you said you don't want to give the show to a network because it's giving something like it's kind of personal and giving that away. Yeah. And if we were to license it to a net, like you kind of just lose it. You lose control of it. And I like that we have kept it for as long as we have.
Mm-hmm.
Dad, what was your favorite thing about doing the Osbournes?
The end.
No, really.
The payday was all right.
No. Well, Yeah.
It was a great fun opportunity that we had that was amazing. But I always say
It seems like
we ended on top and we
the
ended.
thing what they call reality TV now to what it was then is nothing real about them.
No, it's so it's they call it produced moments. Like I'm doing it again. Sorry, produced moments.
Yeah,
it's they kind of tell you what they want to have happen. They don't write the script for you.
That's why I was glad we pulled the plug when they started to suggesting. I went,
It was like when I did The Apprentice, when Donald Trump when he was heading it, they would tell you things that somebody else had said about you on the show to
OTF.
wind you up.
Yeah.
And did you know they said this and they said this? And I'd be like, yeah, well, you know, I feel bad for them or whatever. It's what they think, you know, whatever. But trying to egg you on so as you will pick a fight with that person.
Yeah. And that's so much of, I mean, producing their production companies and networks had to produce shows with scripts because they needed to ensure the product. Like they had to, networks turned around and were like, well, we're not just going to give you X amount of $1 million and see what happens because it was too much of a risk. And I think there was a couple attempts post Osbournes to kind of recreate, and then people caught on. They're like, no, we have to script this because there's no other way that we're going to guarantee a decent product.
No.
Or it's like with the housewives where they ply them with alcohol and they're always at dinner at somebody's house or a party.
Wine in the face.
Yeah, it's like to make them looser, to show some personality. There's something there.
What has been the most challenging moments for you all working in TV post Osbournes?
Escaping that I'm not a little girl anymore. Because when people first get to know you as becoming famous, that's how they always see you.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that I have to be like, I'm a
grown-ass woman.
I'm a 40-year-old woman. Like I'm not a kid. You don't need to talk to me like that. And then they catch themselves and they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Because that's the way that they will forever see me. Is as
A wild child.
yeah.
But
Now I'm a wild woman.
Yes. I think, for me, I think it was different because I'd already established myself in the industry. For years, I'd been
Manager.
I'm really glad you said that because
it's like when you manage other people and you take care of your own personal business, and then you're working with someone, they're not talking to an agent, they're talking to you, and you say, well, actually, that's not right. It should be this way. And they're like, who the fuck does she think she is, telling us this, that, and the other? And you go like, well, then fire me. I don't care. I don't care. And the thing is, people...
Do you think it affected you in a positive or negative way?
Rewatching the show.
No, being a part.
I think that it's both. It affected me in many, many positive ways, but also in very many negative ways as well. Because I always thought that I wasn't enough. Because I didn't do anything to become famous. All I did was be born. And
so it did affect you?
In that way, it did. And then rewatching the show now, I realize, I was enough. I was just being myself. And that's enough.
None of us went to any drama schools before you.
No. Mum did.
Mum did.
Mum's an Italia Conti girl.
I'm a stage brat. How did it affect you?
I think ultimately, I've always said that the positives outweighed the negatives.
Yeah.
But the negatives were significant.
Yeah.
They were heavy. They were few in numbers, but they were heavy in weight.
Oh, it's just the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just got on, hold on until the horse quietened down. Got stoned, got drunk.
We all did, Dad.
Picked up my bags and got on the bus.
Yeah, it was kind of it's a different I always look at it like this for you. It was like if you're talking like a tiered cake, it was just another tier on the cake for you. But for us, it was
It's
like
the base of the
Yeah,
cake.
it was a cake.
Yeah.
Would you do it to your kids,
I don't know.
You wouldn't.
Cal?
I don't know.
You would.
You wouldn't, because your kids have been structured differently to the way you were.
Sure.
I think you won't be able to stop Andy.
Well,
You were never. You were.
I don't think you're going to be able to stop her. I think that no matter what, Andy is going into this industry.
perhaps. No, I don't know. I think I would say perhaps.
You wouldn't.
I don't know though.
Listen to that.
What
You
was it the
wouldn't.
other day you were saying? I wouldn't let.
I wouldn't let.
You were saying about Pearl and.
Yeah, I don't know, but but it's funny because I know I said that like, oh, I wouldn't do this with my kids, but then like I kind of been thinking about it since, and I'm like, yeah, but it was such a
great
gift.
education.
It's such a gift.
It was such a gift, and it opened my world up in such a way. But you can't replicate that now.
You can't.
No.
It's a so it would almost be if I did it knowing they could have a similar kind of trajectory, career, launching pad for life. Sure, absolutely. But there's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee with anything. No guarantee.
Well, folks, you guys can, listening, you guys can watch the Basement Tapes on osbornemediahouse.com. Sign up, watch it, let us know what you think, and
Go on the psychological journey with us.
Yeah, oh, please.
It's very therapeutic.
There were highs, there were lows. Although we keep it fun.
We do keep it fun.
Daddy's having so much fun, he's falling asleep.
Would you like a mini ice cream, Daddy?
No, thank you.
Okay.
All right, well, adios.
Bye, everybody.
folks.
We love you. Thank you for listening, and please go to
Bye.
osbornemediahouse.com. Join the family at osbornemediahouse.com.